Hi, and welcome to Accessible Web Ramp. Today we are taking a look at remediation tasks. Remediation tasks are key to your accessibility workflow within RAMP. There are multiple ways to create and manage your remediation tasks, so I want to chat about some of the recommended remediation workflows within RAMP and give you a high-level overview of how remediation tasks and recommended action items function. So when you first land on RAMP, you'll see that there are multiple calls to action to resolve present accessibility issues via recommendations. You may be wondering what this means. Recommendations are unique element issue combinations that RAMP puts together to help you prioritize accessibility fixes. On this demo website, you can see that there's not a lot of pages, so the tasks are not super interesting, but on a more complex website, you may see the highest and you'll find the organization you want to invite them action item here affects every page of the site. Maybe it's present in the header or footer, and resolving it would probably have a much larger impact on the overall score. But the goal here is that these recommended action items will provide you with unique element issue combinations as they appear across the site with information on the specific pages the affected element is found on, as well as a remediation recommendation, further information and code snippets related to the affected element, and a list of affected pages. You can add recommended action items as remediation tasks, and this is one of the first things we encourage users to do when they land in RAMP. There are multiple ways to do this. You can do it individually by clicking Add Task, or by bulk selecting and using this Actions menu to bulk add tasks. So say you add an individual task. You're going to be popped over to our Remediation Tasks tab. This is where all remediation tasks, regardless of where they're created from, live. And all remediation tasks will have essentially the same information, though tasks created from recommended action items have a couple additional features that we'll take a look at. So all remediation tasks are going to have an associated remediation recommendation, pre-populated, information on the affected element. You have the ability to assign the task to a user, to tag the task for internal organization purposes. You can adjust the description or remediation recommendation. We use basic markdown in this field. And you can adjust the title if you want to add organizational elements to the title to keep your tasks organized. Additionally, you'll see that all of our remediation tasks have a screenshot section, so you can upload screenshots, as well as a comments and questions section. This allows you to communicate both internally with your own team and with our team over at Accessible Web if you are on the Pro or Pro Plus plans. If you are on our Pro Plus plan, you'll have a dedicated accessibility specialist assigned to your account, and you can communicate directly with them using this comment section. This makes keeping communication about a specific remediation task really streamlined, so it'll all happen right here, and it's all documented for future reference. So this specific task was created from one of those recommendations. This means it has a couple additional features that tasks manually created will not have. For example, you'll have a list of the affected pages. These are the specific URLs that the issue appears on. You can also view this issue with the Chrome extension. I'm not going to fully demonstrate this part in today's video, but if I click Open with Extension and you have the Chrome extension downloaded, it will open up this specific page and it will visually highlight with a red highlight box the affected element and issue. That makes it easy to find the issue on page if you are not super into tracking down the code. Heading back to this Remediation Tasks Overview tab here, we can take a look at a couple different types of remediation tasks. So this remediation task that we just added from a recommended action item has an auto status indicator. This means that if RAMP rescans the affected pages and finds that the violation is no longer present, it will automatically update the status to completed. If the issue is present on some of the affected pages and not all, it'll update the affected page list. You can also turn off this auto status indicator if you wanted to mark a specific remediation task as an exception. Say it pertains to a third party on the site, you can click exception here and just make sure you have auto status turned off. Otherwise, RAMP will flip its status back to in progress when it rescans and finds the issue still present on the site. In addition to tasks created from recommended action items, you can also create tasks manually from scratch right here using the new menu. It's all the same information, it just allows you to input it yourself. Or you can create tasks specific to an individual page. So from this pages view, you can click into a specific page. You'll see all of the violations present on that page. And if you wanted to create an individual task for one of these violations, you can click Create Task. It'll give you the option to edit these as we discussed previously, and then you can just click Create Remediation Task. It'll appear in the same task list, and it has essentially the same information. It just won't have the ability to open the Chrome extension on the page or the affected page list, because obviously this is specific to one URL. We do recommend starting with recommended action items and trying to tackle as much of your existing violations via recommended action items, because it is a lot more efficient than going page by page and addressing ultimately the same violations across many different pages. So as I mentioned, this website is limited on pages because it's our demo site, but on your website, these recommended action items are a huge boost to efficiency and can really help you tackle and prioritize what issues you address first. Finally, remediation tasks can be created via manual auditing. If you have our Chrome extension downloaded, you can use the guided manual audit tool to conduct a single page audit and export those results in the form of remediation tasks into RAMP. I'm not going to go through that whole workflow on this video, but I did want to make you aware that it is possible and that remediation tasks created from manual auditing appear almost the same way as remediation tasks created from automated scan results. These tasks that start with ranking here are all examples of remediation tasks that were created via manual auditing. Again, they'll have pretty much the same information: pre-populated remediation recommendation, information on the affected element, the ability to communicate via the questions and comments section, and upload screenshots. You can also tag and assign these tasks just in the same way you can tag and assign tasks that were created from automated scan results. Finally, because we get this question quite often, after you have populated your remediation task section, if you want to export this information outside of RAMP, you can create a CSV export using this new drop-down menu up here in the corner. That allows you to create a basic CSV export that can be used to upload these elsewhere or share externally, though we typically encourage users to invite their team into RAMP because you get the full rich feature set available in RAMP when you're logged in and interacting with these via our platform. All right, if you have any questions about remediation tasks, I encourage you to explore our user guide or to reach out to our team for further tips and to discuss this more. So once you click into your organization, under Plan Details, you'll see this Users section, and now you can click Manage next to it. Within this view, you can add users, either as members or as admins. Admins are responsible or are able to manage billing. They can also invite new users and revoke user access, and they have full feature access otherwise. Members will have full access to the websites and projects owned by an organization, as well as full access to all of the features associated with the organization's plan, including the guided manual audit tool. So say you are working with team members who are only on one or two of your websites or projects, and you don't want to give them access to the full portfolio of sites and projects. In that case, you'll go to the specific website you want to give them access to, and you'll navigate to RAMP Settings. Within RAMP Settings, you'll go to the Teams tab. Here is another option to add users. You can add either single users or organizations, and for the sake of this demo, we're going to do a single user because organizations would rarely be invited here unless you are an enterprise or agency with a more complex user permission configuration. So inviting a single user, you'll have the option to invite them as a member or a manager. You can explore the various permission levels depending on if you want them to have the ability to invite new users and revoke access to existing users on the team. in most cases, if you're inviting a contractor or a client into Ramp and they're only managing this one site, you'll probably invite them as a member. One thing to note is that they will not have access to all the features associated with your plan, specifically the guided manual audit tool, if they only have website level Ramp access here and they're not associated with the organization that owns the plan. If you have any questions about configuring user access in Ramp, please don't hesitate to reach out. We are happy to support you with inviting users, and for larger enterprises and agencies, we are happy to assist with more complex user permission configuration. All right, thank you.